Hey, what's good, Accounting 386? Welcome to our very first Excel video that we have, and then today we're going to be teaching you how to make your data more powerful, how to make it more stronger and more understandable and easy to read by you and also those who are looking at it. And we are going to be able to do this by using pivot tables, looking at slices, and also conditional formatting. So we will combine all three in order to make this work. As you can see right now, we have Andrews, and this data, we're looking at all of the sales done by Andrews right now. If a sale was done by Andrews, he will be highlighted in nice bright orange. But what makes this very powerful is if we want to look at another sales rep, we simply come across here to the slicer and we click on the salesperson we want to look at. We look at Jones, and boom, right there, the table or the data automatically applies the conditional formatting to all of the sales done by Jones. If we want to look at someone else like Howard or Morgan, this automatically updates itself. Now what we need to do, if we want to get our way started, we simply come over here and click on this tab or our data. Now this has no conditional formatting done, there's no slicer, and there's no pivot table. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to make a pivot table. There are two ways we can do that. We can simply highlight all of the data right there, and then we click on insert and click on pivot table, click OK, and a new worksheet will open with your pivot table. Or another way we can do it is by simply clicking on any of the cells within our data, and we can use a keyboard shortcut by pressing Alt N V. And boom, right there you can see the marching ants, or the ants that are walking around, is highlighted all of our data automatically. This is something that's very strong and powerful and fast. Again, all you need to do is push Alt N V and a pivot table is made. Click OK, and as you can see, we have a new sheet. This is our pivot table pertaining to our original data. Now what you want to do is you want to first rename that so we don't get lost. So what we will call this is pivot table 2, because you don't want to build up too many worksheets and get lost. And now we have that named, all we simply want to do is we want to look at our sales rep right here and put rep into rows. And then the next thing that we need is a slicer. So we look at insert and we look at slicer right here, click slicer, and we want to look at reps. So what this will do is as we click on these slicers, it just simply, all it does is changes the pivot table of that. So we can highlight all of them, or we can just click on one. But what we want is we want this slicer right here to show on our original data here. So what we do is we'll right click on the slicer and we will go cut, click on the original data, click on any cell right over here, and we're just going to go paste, use destination theme right there. Now if we click on Jill, if we go back, you can see that our pivot table has changed to Jill. If we click on Jones, our pivot table will change to Jones. Now the very last step that we need to do is we need to be able to make our data, or our slicer and our data, interact with each other. And now for that to happen, all we want to do is we want to bring our mouse up and we want to click on conditional formatting, and we click new rule. But before we do that, we want to highlight this row right here because we want the rule to apply it to this row. So we highlight it, we click on conditional formatting, and we click new rule. We want to use a formula to determine which cells to format, and we want to look at C2. So we click on here and click on C2. Now what this has done is it's locked it only to C2, but we want this formula to look at all of column C only. That's simple. All we need to do right here is we need to delete the 2 characters, and then just replace it with a C2. Now what this is saying now is, Excel, I want you to look only at column C, but the row numbers can change. So you can look at C3, C4, and I'm okay with that. Now we want that to equal whatever is in our pivot table. So we click on pivot table 2, and then we click on Andrews, and as you can see, the formula will automatically update that. So what it's saying is, if that equals what is inside our pivot table, then we want it to be formatted a nice green color. So we'll click on a green fill. We want to give it a nice border. Let's make it a nice dark green. Click OK, and then we want to click on OK again. And then if we click on Jones, you'll see all of that is highlighted green. But if we click on any of the others, it doesn't work because it's only looking at this row. Now what we want to do is we want to highlight this, and we can do that by highlighting here. And all I'm doing right now is I'm just holding down the shift key. I'm clicking on order date, or I'm putting on order date, holding down the shift key and pushing right on the keyboard. Or you can also go down, but we want to just go click on that first row, and we are going to click Control Copy on the keyboard, and then we want to go Control Shift down, and that will bring everything down. And you can see it's all highlighted down to the very last data that we have. We right click on the box, and what we want to do is we want to paste the formatting. If we paste anything else, it will change. So we want the formatting to change. We click on the formatting, push escape, and look at that. Now everything that Jones has done, simply what we've done is we've copied that conditional formatting for not just that row, but for every single row within our data. Now if we click on Andrews, there we go. Boom, Andrews changes to that green, and then you can see Andrews is done. If we click on Jones again, it's there. We click on Cavell or Morgan, and there you go. I hope that you've enjoyed this. This is something very strong and powerful that you can use, and also be able to make your data more presentable, more understandable, and more easier to use and to read. Thank you for watching our video. Be sure to leave your comments or whatever you want, and we'll get back to you again next time. Till then, take care and mahalo.